getting off to a good start, trying to take the crowd out of the game early because it's going to be electric. But I just think playing well early, trying to take the crowd out of the game is going to be the most important.
Hey, we're just waiting to get started, period. The conference finals are close, so close. The West tips off on Monday, the East on Sunday afternoon in Boston. Here to get set for both series, Matt Weiner, the Hall of Famer in waiting, Grant Hill, Greg Anthony right over there. Let's dive in. How important is it for the Cavs to get going early on Sunday?
I don't think it's that important. They can get off to a reasonably slow start. I mean, they don't want to be down 20-2. But I think they're going to build momentum. At least that's got to be the mindset. They're a veteran-savvy team. They've been in this situation before. They've had to go on the road to win playoff games. So I don't think they'll be uncomfortable, nor do I think they have to come out and just blow the top off to start the game.
Yeah, and I agree with Greg. I mean, look, Cleveland, they've been playing great basketball the second series. They're feeling good. They went to Toronto, won 2 games there. I actually think Boston is a team that needs to get off to a good start. They have been more of a second-half team here in the postseason, struggling a bit in terms of scoring. I think about 47 points a game in the first half here in the postseason. So against a LeBron James-led team, a Cleveland team that's playing as good a basketball as they played all year, I think they're the team that really needs to get out early and get that crowd behind them and get some confidence against the Cavs.
Remember, the Cavs were down double digits to Toronto in Game 1 on the road, and that worked out okay. In their favor, in fact. For more on the series, Dennis Scott is with the Celtics.
Here we are again for another Eastern Conference Finals. We have a rematch of the same 2 teams as last year. Of course, the Cavaliers have had 3 different teams in one season. And the Celtics weathered the storm to get the 2nd seed after losing Gordon Hayward opening night. And then the beginning of the playoffs, they get the word no Kyrie Irving. But Brad Stevens said stick together, play good team defense, and how do you slow down LeBron James?
LeBron's a special player. I think you just try to make it as difficult as possible, as hard as possible, and you got to be great on everybody else as well. I mean, it's quite a challenge, but, doubling him, he is going to get 3 for his team. So if you don't double perfectly.
It's going to take a team effort. You just got to mix up and give him different looks. A guy, at his level, you can't give him a steady diet of one thing. You have to switch it up. He's a great player for a reason. He's good at going on the fly, so you just got to mix it up and make him work for everything he has.
As long as we make it tough on him and don't give out the easy ones, and I think in the Toronto series, no disrespect to them, I just watching film, it just looked very easy at times. He looked very confident. You know what I mean? He was getting to different places on the court, and it was no help. You know what I mean? I didn't see no physicality. I didn't see any of that. And I think that's something different that we will bring to the table. Personally, I think I'm probably the best guy to defend him in the league, outside of Kawhi.
All right, well, file that away from the series upcoming. LeBron influences just about everything in a playoff series, of course, but where should slowing him down specifically rank among the Celtics' priorities going into this thing?
Well, if it's your number 1 priority to win, I think you might be in trouble because right now LeBron James, 15 years in the league, what he's doing this season and more importantly in this playoffs, I don't think there's anybody that can slow this guy down. So I think more importantly is what you do with everyone else, and you can, maybe guard him one-on-one and try to stay at home with everyone else. Kevin Love really got going in Toronto. That Kyle Korver, Kevin Love, 2-man game. Toronto switched it. Love was able to get into the post.
Right.
But LeBron James, I think one of the things that makes him so great is that he can, he's a willing passer. And he will, facilitate. He's got a great balance between scoring and looking for his teammates, and he can beat you both ways. If you can just keep him as a scorer, which I don't think instinctively he wants to do all the time, that might be your best bet, but you're not going to slow this guy down.
No, and really from a game plan standpoint, if I'm Boston, the guy that I feel like I got to contain and stop is Kevin Love. I can't allow him to play at an all-star level because if he plays at an all-star level, I don't think Boston has a chance in this series. And it's been shown in this postseason that you can affect him. Now, he's done a terrific role right now, and he's playing some of his best basketball on the year. But he's been the guy that really has disappeared somewhat in the Indiana series, at the start of that Toronto series. So if I'm Boston, from a matchup standpoint, that's a guy I feel like we can compete with, we can affect. And if you can affect him, then I feel like even with LeBron being LeBron, now you might have some opportunities, because as good as Boston's played, they're not going to overwhelm you offensively. I don't know that they're going to be getting 110, 115 points a game.
Right.
So I think their defense against him will give their offensive chance to have success in this series.
One of the things that's made their defense so good all year long is how flexible they are in terms of switching stuff, and they're not dependent on a Jonas Valanciunas type big that Love can exploit by heading out to the three-point line. It's all part of the little chess match coming up. By the way, in case you missed it, Grant's Atlanta Hawks have themselves a brand new head coach.
Congratulations,
Lloyd Pierce.
Congratulations, boss.
A longtime assistant in the NBA, 11 years. What about Pierce's resume and his personality, et cetera, made him the guy?
Yeah, and Lloyd Pierce, after going through this sort of extensive coaching search, I think his experience, having been in player development, obviously the last 5 years in Philadelphia, the Hawks obviously going young right now, going through a rebuild, trying to prepare for the future, 6 #1 picks over the course of the next 2 years. So the emphasis on player development, obviously building a culture, and being able to connect and resonate with young players. One thing Lloyd Pierce had done, he'd worked with LeBron James, he'd worked with Golden State and Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and obviously Joel Embiid. Mm-hmm. And he has a dynamic personality. He has a lot of charisma, has a tremendous presence, great leadership skills. So going through the process and having a little part in that process myself, he definitely stuck out as the top candidate of all the people we saw.
Also a former teammate of your former teammate, Steve Nash. They played together collegiately.
They did. Yeah, and it didn't affect him, so it turned out okay.
It's all part of the 2 degrees of Grant Hill. Anywhere in the NBA, you can find somebody with a connection. All right, much more coming up here. On the way, KD is a 4-time scoring champ, but will he outscore his old teammate in the Western Conference Finals? Just one of the pressing questions we've hooked up ahead of Game 1.